All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. We are here on our third week here, third Saturday, on our third yoga session with Heather Smith. She'll be leading us there, ending the week with us. We're doing this for our Live for Lives charity drive for Save the Children Coronavirus Response Fund. There's a donate tab underneath the more info button in the actual link to the page or the stream itself. So thank you for those who've donated. Thank you for those who'll be donating in the future. Really appreciate your support there. With that being said, oh yeah, if it's your first time streaming in, like, subscribe, share. I don't care what you do, but support the stream. Other than that, I'll let Heather take over for us here, put us through a nice session.
Good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Heather. Welcome to yoga, whether you've been doing all of them or you're new. Welcome, glad that you are here. So today's theme is just kind of mix it up. So the first week we did a lot of leg strength and a lot of, what was our other theme? Leg strength and breath work. And then last week we kind of focused on those hip openers. I got a lot of comments about that frog pose and some relaxation. Today we're just kind of mixing it up with a lot of different types of poses, different movement styles, working on kind of all areas of our body, lengthening, strengthening, a little bit of balance work, and we're going to throw in some shoulder and neck exercises as well. I know a lot of us who maybe normally are more active in the workplace and moving around are kind of stuck at our homes, hunched over on a computer, so I wanted to work on a little bit of opening up through that upper body. So that's what we've got planned for today. A mat or towel is something to work on, and then if you have a strap, please go get the strap. If you don't have one, what we're doing today you can actually do with a hand towel. So if you don't have a strap, just go grab a hand towel. If you do have a strap, you want it ringed so that when your thumbs are in it, it's about shoulder distance apart. So go grab a hand towel or the strap, get your strap situated. We won't start with those, but we'll use them pretty early on in our set today. If you're new to yoga, just pay attention to the cues and make sure you're not working beyond your body's ability. The best way to grow in your practice is to listen to your body and to respond to it. And sometimes that can be hard to do, and that's why we focus on our breath work, so we can really be in tune to how we're feeling and we don't go beyond our abilities. Challenging yourself is good, a little bit of mild discomfort is okay, but pain should never be the yoga way. All right, let's get started. My shout out this week is to Krista. I loved hearing from you that you're participating in these sessions and your clean bill of health from the doctor is really good news. All right, let's go ahead and lie down. We're going to start in a reclined butterfly today. So heels are going to come together, back flat on that ground, and you're going to open up your knees to the side. If that is really uncomfortable, it makes your back arch a lot. You can always grab something to stick under your knees, blocks, boxes, children, something just to support, an ottoman, I don't know. But for many of us, we can just let those knees open and we feel all right. Your arms can hang out on your tummy, out to the side, or if you want to complete the pose, you can try to grab your elbows up overhead. If your shoulders aren't quite open enough for that yet, don't worry about it, just leave them someplace else. And we're just going to focus on some easy breathing here, letting our hips naturally open, a little opening through our chest here. And just letting our bodies be. Let yoga breath drawing down into our abdomens. I always say try to imagine your belly is like a balloon. Every time you inhale, think of inflating that balloon. Every time you exhale, the balloon deflates. spend a moment thinking about why you're here today, why you're taking this class. Maybe it's to support the Children's Fund, supporting Whole Athlete. Maybe it's because you know me, maybe it's you like yoga. Maybe you're just stressed out and you're hoping to relax. Whatever it is, honor that reason. Start lengthening out your body, arms come overhead, legs fully lengthen out. We're going to do banana pose. So I forgot to mention in the beginning, I'm going to be mirror imaging you. So like you're watching me in a mirror. So start to crawl, keep your body flat on the ground, but start to crawl your hands and your feet over to the right side of your mat. So like you're arching toward the TV, your camera, phone, whatever you're watching this on. Start creeping over to that right side, trying to keep your shoulders down, trying to keep your hips down. So we're not coming up off the mat here. Just think about making a banana. Rest here in this pose. And then if you want to add on a little bit more, take your left heel and cross it over that right ankle, and then you'll feel a little extra pull through your side body. If you hook that heel, release, and then everyone start creeping over to the other side. So start coming to the left side of your mat. Again, trying to stay grounded. We're not coming up on that hip. Just trying to get as much of a stretch through your side body as you possibly can here. Once you've found as far as you can go, decide if you want to stay here or if you want to lift up that right leg just a little bit and cross the ankle over. Cross that ankle, you can uncross and come back to center. You take your right knee and pull it into your body, grab it with your hands. This is breaking wind pose. If anything happens at home, I won't know, so let loose. As you're pulling in, your left leg is actively working, so think about pushing that heel away from you. It's not just flopping on the ground. And I want you to start making gentle circles with your knee. So those little gentle circles, nice and slow, controlled breathing. Go the opposite direction. Hold still and just pull that knee out away from the body, almost like you're trying to bring your knee up to your armpit and out to the floor. Bring it up over body, grab it with the opposite arm, and we're going to come into a twist here. So prop yourself on the opposite hip as you just roll over to the side. The right arm can extend out. Eye gaze can follow that right hand so that you're looking away from the knee. Bring that knee back in. Let the other knee join it. And then we're gonna switch sides. So the right heel is going to shoot out and actively push away from the body. Left knee gets pulled in. And then start those tiny circles, slow circles in one direction. You feel your shoulders creeping up to your ears, pull them down, readjust. And let's circle the other way. All right, we can stop the circles and just start drawing that knee out, away from the body, thinking about pulling it up toward your armpit and down toward the ground. Drawing it back over your body, grab it with that opposite arm and start rolling over to the side. Left arm reaches out long, eye gaze will follow, coming into a reclined twist. Release the twist, bring that knee in, other knee joins it so you're hugging your legs. And again with the teeny tiny circles. So pick a direction like a little massage of the spine. See if you can go even slower. And switch directions. Alright, stop at the circles, reach an arm overhead and turn in that direction, just coming into a fetal position. Your head can rest on that arm. I want you to think of taking a couple deep belly breaths here, pulling that breath down into your belly. Next big inhale, and then we're going to exhale like we're fogging up a mirror. On your own breath, go through a couple more times. Use your arms to push yourself up to seated position. We're going to come into horse stance on your hands and knees. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees hip distance underneath your hips. Belly's pulled in to support your spine, actively pushing through the mat so you're not slumped through your shoulders. Take a big breath in here, and as you exhale, start to tilt that tailbone all the way up through your back, coming into cat. When you're ready to inhale again, coming into cow, so head drops first, then through your mid-spine, tail flips last. On your own breath, exhaling to cat and inhaling to cow. Come back to a neutral spine. We're going to tuck those toes and come into our first down dog. So from hands and knees, this is usually a pretty good distance for down dog. So tuck those toes and start to lift the hips up. Oh, first down dog always shocks my body a little bit. It's like, oh, we're doing this now, okay. All right, so we just pedal out our dog a little bit. Think about alternating heel drops. Think about biceps through, our ears to the biceps. So you're not looking up. All right, let's leave those heels where we're at. Come up on those tippy toes, bend the knees, and try to push your chest into your thighs, opening up through your shoulders here. Once you've pushed as much as you can, then work on lengthening out those legs. Feel a really deep stretch through those hamstrings. All right, we're just gonna tiptoe our toes up to our hands, bending the knees as needed. And then very slowly, we're gonna roll up. So just a nice slow roll. And our head comes up last. Go ahead and face forward. Big breath in, and as you exhale, drop that ear towards the shoulder. If you want a little bit extra, you can use your hand as a weight. Do not press your head down, but you can just gently rest your hand. Release, inhale and lift. Exhale to the other side. So your ear is dropping, your shoulders are staying down. And if you want the extra weight, gently rest your hand. Again, do not push your head down. Release. Inhale and lift. Exhale, drop that chin down into the chest. If you want the extra weight here, you interlace your fingers. Just gently rest on top. Once again, not pressing on your head. Release. Grab your strap or your hand towel, whatever you've got. If you've got a hand towel, you just want to grab it so that your arms are about shoulder distance apart. So from here, we're just going to inhale and bring it up overhead, and we exhale down. So it's on your own breath. Inhale and lift up. When you get to the top, you're not arching back. We're just working on a little bit through the shoulders here, so keep the spine and the abdominals just in a nice straight line. So inhale to lift, exhale nice and slow and controlled down. Next time we're up at the top, we're gonna do something different. Inhale up to the top, and as you exhale, we're just gonna side bend. So think about C-shaping your spine. Inhale and lift, and exhale to the other side. So we're not bending forward at all. Imagine you're like in between two walls, and you're just C-shaping side to side. So often we get stuck moving our body in one plane of motion. So these shoulder stretches, by the time we're done with them, we're going to kind of move us in all three planes, helping to bring balance to our bodies. Next time we're up at the top, big breath in, and then we're going to exhale and rotate the spine. So we inhale and lift up. We exhale, drop the arms, and rotate to the side. When we're rotating, we can use our necks as well to try to look over that back shoulder. Next time you're up overhead, exhale the arms back forward. And we're gonna flip and grab behind. So we inhale and lift, and then exhale to release. One last one. And throw that strap or the hand towel off to the side. And we're just gonna start some slow arm swings. So make sure your feet are underneath your hips or a little bit wider, but not together, or you might lose your balance. You're not directing your arms to go. You're just providing the twist through your torso and letting your arms fly where they're gonna fly. Start going a little bit faster. Kind of makes you feel like a kid again. Whee! Go a little bit faster, you'll start smacking yourself, that's okay. Just make sure there's nothing around you to smack. All right, so you can go a little bit faster. Really get those arms flailing. Oh, I can see how weird this looks on the screen. All right, start slowing down. Yeah. Slowing down. And at rest. We're gonna do some sun salutations to finish warming up. Grab a drink if you need one. Let's turn this way this time. Let's take a big inhale, come up into our extended mountain or upward salute. As we exhale, we tip from the hips into our fold, so knees are soft as your chest drops into your thighs. Take that left leg and lunge it on back. Left leg lunges back nice and long, opening through the hips. We want that right knee over the right ankle. Step back into your down dog. All right, from here, we're gonna do something different than we have the past couple weeks. I want you to come down to your knees and sit back into a child's pose. And from here, we're gonna do something called striking cobra, which is really good back work. So for striking cobra, you're gonna come up a little bit, and then you're going to skin your chest along the ground, keeping your elbows in nice and tight, and then you press up. So I'm squeezing my elbows in. I imagine I have like an orange or a lemon between my shoulder blades, and I'm trying to make juice out of it. My butt is squeezed, my head is in line with the rest. Now you might not push up far. You might just be a couple inches off the ground, and that's fine too. The key is my elbows are not flopped up to the side, they're pulled in. All right, back to our down dog. So push up to your knees, flip those toes, come to your down dog. From here, we're gonna lunge that right leg forward, left leg forward. The lunge, left leg forward. If the lunging doesn't work for you, so I heard some people say they're having a really hard time with that. Instead, what you can do is what we did earlier, is just tiptoe those feet up to the hands. So pick what's gonna work for you. Both of them get you into a forward fold, and that is our goal. All right, come all the way forward. Flat back extension, our palms push into our shins. We lift, think about flattening and lengthening through our spine. We exhale and release. We inhale and rise all the way up overhead. And we exhale and we tip back down. We lunge back with that right leg. And step all the way back into our down dog. Big exhale as those hips lift. We come down to our knees and we sit back to a child's pose. And striking cobra. So lift the hips a little bit and then dip that chest down toward the ground like you're gonna scrape your nose, scrape your chin, and follow it through. Elbow squeeze, shoulder blade squeeze. Good. Back to our down dog, to the knees and the hips lift. Either walk those toes up or step them forward, whatever is gonna work best for you. Flat back extension. We exhale down, we inhale and rise. Exhale back down. Left leg lunges back, nice and long. We step back to our down dog, hips push nice and high. We come down to our knees and sit back into our child's pose. We lift a little bit and striking cobra. So think about scraping forehead, nose, chin, chest. And then we lift and squeeze. Back to our down dog. Big exhale here as those hips lift. And then you step, big steps or little steps or lunges to get those hands or feet back up to your hands. We inhale, flat back extension. Exhale, release. Inhale and rise. Exhale back down, tipping from the hips, knees are soft. Right leg lunges back nice and long. Head stays lifted. We step back to our down dog. Down to our knees, and we sit back to our child's pose. We lift a little, striking cobra, elbows stay in tight. Feel the strength through your core here. And back to down dog. Step lunge or tiptoe those feet up to the hands, whatever works for you. Flat back extension, big breath in, lengthen, belly's pulled in, exhale, release. Inhale and lift up overhead. Arms stay here. We're going to sit back into chair. If you want to do tiptoe chair, you can lift those toes up, or your heels up to be up on your toes. If that doesn't work for you, stay put. Belly's pulled in nice and tight here. If you're in tiptoe chair, release those heels back down. Everyone, you're going to take your left leg and you're going to lunge your left leg back into a high lunge. So front leg, the right knee is bent over that right ankle. Your left leg we want straight here, and you're sinking. Arms overhead, imagine you're grabbing a beach ball. So they don't need to be like pointing straight to the ceiling, but give your shoulders a little wiggle room here. Hands are going to come down and frame the foot into a low lunge. You can either stay here or you can come with me in a standing split. So standing split, you're pushing off that leg and lifting it toward the ceiling and pulling your nose toward the knee. If you're in standing split, go ahead and lower back down. Framing out that foot again, making sure knee over ankle. Everyone's going to drop that back heel, and we're going to lift up into a warrior one. So arms come up overhead. Create some space between your legs so you're not on a tightrope here. That can be hard to balance. But hips and shoulders turn toward the side. Trying to bring that knee over ankle. We're going to bring our hands behind our bodies, clasp them. We're going to come into humble warrior. So you're going to bow forward and lift your knuckles to the ceiling. See if you can bow a little bit more. Draw those knuckles overhead a little bit more. Release those hands down, frame the foot. Pop that back heel up so you're in a low lunge again. You're going to take this leg, these toes you're looking at, and shoot it back until you're in a plank. And then chaturanga. You can drop to your knees if you need to. Otherwise, we slowly lower. We scoop to our up dog, shoulders pushed away from our ears. Back to our down dog. And then walk, step, or jump those feet back to your hands. Inhale and rise, and we sit back into our chair again. So from your chair, make sure you can wiggle your toes here, otherwise shift the weight back a little bit. If you feel yourself arching your back, I want you to give a little tuck of the tailbone. Belly's pulled in. If you want tiptoe chair, lift those heels. Squeezing those thighs together. You're in tiptoe, lower those heels. Everyone, right leg comes back, nice and long. High lunge on the other side. So right leg is nice and lengthened behind. Left leg is strong, knee over that ankle, trying to sink as low as you can, holding that beach ball overhead. Slowly lower those arms so they frame your foot down into a low lunge. And then you're either staying here in low lunge or coming with me into standing split. So lifting that leg, try to pull your nose and your chest down into that supporting leg. And then imagining you're in the splits. So close, right?
Yeah, right.
If you're in the split, let's slowly lower. Making sure you have a nice long stance so that we're not compromising our knee here. Let's drop that back heel and we rise into warrior one. So both heels are grounded. We're turned toward a wall or whatever's in your house here. Trying to keep a nice 90-degree bend in that front leg. Humble warrior, arms come behind, they clasp, and you bow forward, and lift those knuckles. Release those hands so they frame the foot. Pop up that back heel so you're in your low lunge. Shoot that foot back till you're in a plank. And even vinyasa our way through. Lowering, lifting, big breath in. Exhale back to your down dog. And then lunging, walking, stepping, hopping. Whatever you need to do to get those feet forward into a fold. Let's hang here in the fold for an extra couple breaths. Make sure your head is loose. You can shake it yes and no. And then if you'd like to add on, you can turn this into ragdoll by grabbing your elbows and kind of hanging here. Some people really don't like this unsupported position though. If that's you, then release those hands back down. If you're in ragdoll, release those arms, and we slowly roll, 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 all the way up. Your legs should be awake now. We'll do a couple balance poses before we come to the ground. We saw a tree last week, so we're going to extend off of tree. So let's take your right knee out to the side. We're trying to open up through the hips here. You can keep the toe on the ground. You can also go to a wall, get a chair if you know you're going to need that, or you can put it on your lower leg. Not the knee, but you can bring it up above the knee, kind of using those toes to grip. And hands will come to prayer. And try to calm your breath down here. Belly button's pulled in. A lot of balance comes from a nice strong core. So our first option is to stay here in tree, or if you like, you can start working toward extended hand to toe pose with me. If you'd like to do that, I want you to take your right hand, grab behind the right thigh. Your left hand is really going to go where you need it to go to help you balance. So you can grab behind the thigh and start to extend it. Or if you want to do the full pose, you're going to grab your foot or your big toe and you're going to lengthen.
Maybe next
So tree, grabbing behind the thigh, or extended hand to toe. And then last, picture someone's holding on to your bottom foot near the top of a pyramid. Like the cheerleader girls, right? All right, let's bring it on in and release. Roll out that supporting leg ankle. And we'll repeat on the other side. So starting with that tree, good starting pose. Knee turn out, toe on the ground, or press into the lower leg, or come up above the knee. Again, trying to open up here. Just take a couple moments to calm your breath, shoulders away from the ears. Sometimes it helps to find a focal point, something that's not moving, to just stare at. If you look at something that's moving, for whatever reason, that makes you wobble more sometimes. All right, stay here in tree, or if you want to try our extension, just grab behind the leg, and you can just stay here. If you just want to work here, you can try to lengthen the leg from here, or you can try grabbing that foot and lengthening. Wherever you're at, let's start to release. And roll out that ankle. Whenever we're working on our balance poses, always try to be in control of when and where you land. So sometimes we just kind of fall out on the ground, but really try to control all the way to the end. Whew. All right, feet are gonna come hip distance, maybe a little bit wider. And we're gonna come into garland pose. To get there, we're gonna start in a sumo squat. So elbows can just come to those knees, and you might want to stay here. If not, you're gonna keep sinking your hips down and down and down into garland. You want your heels grounded, so if your heels pop up and you can't keep them down, then stay up here in that sumo squat. Palms push together, and you can use your elbows to open your knees here. So good strength and mobility pose here. And then have a seat. Rest of class is on the ground. Bring those feet out in front of you. From here, we're going to do something called a seated figure 4. So hands come behind, knees are bent. Lift up your hips a little bit. Take your right leg and cross it over the knee with a nice flexed foot. And then you're going to start lowering the hips to the ground. You're going to have to adjust most likely. So this front foot, bringing it in, bringing it out. We don't want to be rounded here. We want to be able to lengthen through the spine. So if that means you have to push your heel further out to move this leg away from your body, then do that. Find what's going to work for you. Make sure you keep a nice flexed foot here to help protect that knee. You should feel a nice stretch kind of on the outside of your hip and your butt here. Take a nice big breath in, look up toward the ceiling. And as you exhale, just drop the chin into the chest, but keeping the length through the spine. We're going to transition this into something called cow-faced pose, which may not work for everybody. So I'll show it to you, decide if you're going to try it, and I'll give you an option if it won't work. So from here, you can look back up, and I just want you to let this foot just kind of fall over to the side. Then you're going to take this left heel and bring it in towards your body. You're going to try to stack your knees. And this is half of cow-faced pose. So knees are stacked, and then your feet are like the cow's horns. I had to look that up, because I was like, why the heck do they call this cow-faced pose? And these are like the ears or the horns of the cow. If this does not work for you, then kind of untangle your legs and just come into an easy pose, or even bring the foot into your lap, which we did, I think it was last week we did that one. All right, so whichever position you're in, cow-faced, or it's kind of a modified fire log, you can stay here or you can add on. For the add-on, you can have your strap nearby. Sometimes it's helpful, or a towel works as well if you need it. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your left arm up overhead, grab the elbow, just kind of try to pat yourself on the back. So starting with a little bit of a tricep stretch here. And then if you want to come into the full cow face pose, the other arm is going to sneak behind. And this is where it can be helpful to have a strap or a towel. If your hands don't clasp, use the strap or the towel to help you meet so you can hold the position. And I have one side that works well and the other side not so much. This is the side that works for me. And if the arms are too much, just let them go and focus on the hip opening parts of cow face pose. If you want to add on from here, inhale a little bit and exhale to tip forward. If this puts too much stress on your shoulder, and just stay upright, just a tiny little tip. Or if you're like, forget the arms, you're welcome to just let go and fold forward. And this is whatever is going to help you meet your goals today. All right, let's release. Untangle those legs, however they are. You can stay facing forward. I'm just going to turn to the side to demonstrate boat pose here. So boat pose makes me feel silly, but sometimes it's good for yoga instructors to show their vulnerabilities too. So I am not confident in this one, but it's a really good strengthener, so I wanted to show it to you. All right, so we're sitting up nice and tall. I want you to bring your hands behind you, fingers facing towards you, and just lean back a little bit. You can stay right here if you like. Next option is to lift your feet up and think of your shins like a tabletop, like you're going to serve a drink on them. All right? If you want to add on from here, you can release your arms forward. And then if you want to add on from here, here we go. You lengthen out your legs, trying to keep length through the spine and neck. We hold and hold. Take that modification if you need it. And let's release. Toes come down, knees open up, and just fall forward. So cobbler's pose or butterfly. Let's lift up, and we're going to repeat that sequence on the other side. So we lift up, this time our left leg crosses over the knee, a nice flexed foot, and then we lower the hips and we adjust that heel on the floor so that we feel a stretch on the outside of that butt and hip here, but we're not rounded over. Always want a nice long spine here. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, just a gentle drop of the chin. Go ahead and look up, and then let that heel drop off to the side. Take the right heel and pull it in, and then try to stack those knees into cow-faced pose. Again, if this doesn't work for you, you can't get those legs where they need to be, and just release them out. Let the left leg hang out in front of your body, or pull it into your lap. Sometimes it helps to move quietly in your head, so feel free to add the mooing on if you like. All right, right arm comes up, grab the elbow, work on just that tricep flexibility here. And then if you'd like to come into full cow face, the other arm sneaks behind and try to clasp the hands. This is the side I can't quite make. It depends on the day, I suppose. Today I can just like barely kiss the fingertips, but they definitely are not clasping today. And then if you want that last add-on, inhale and then exhale and tip forward a little bit. My shoulder says no thank you to that, so I'm going to stay upright. Let's release. Whew. Release those legs. Coming into boat pose again, because we're going to add on to it. If you want, if you're like, I couldn't do it the first time, then you're going to take your modification and stick with it. All right, so same as before, get situated. Arms come behind, fingertips pointed towards you, and just lean back. And again, you can stay right here. You're still working your core. You're working through those deep hip flexors too. But if you want, lift up those knees. And you can do the modification from here. So if you want, from this position, the modification is adding a twist. So turn it into a revolved boat. And you can turn to the one side. But if you want full boat pose, bring those legs up. I find it helpful to cross my ankles. Oh, I'm gonna tip. My boat is tipping. I'm trying to lengthen the spine and release. That would be an example of the pose releasing me, not me releasing the pose. Knees come out, come down into that cobbler's pose. Oh, that was hard. But we're going to try revolving it to the other side. From any of the three options. All right, let's come up again. One more try for boat pose. So arms come behind, lean back a little. Again, you can do the revolving from here with your feet on the ground. Or lift those toes up, nice flat platform. Revolve the other side. Or come be foolish with me, lengthen those legs. So I can't see myself on this side, so that's probably better. I can feel my back is not arching, it's not lengthening. Woo! And release. And fall forward. It's like the whole leg is just like that's fun though. Alright, let's lift up. I was like, what could go with boat pose in a theme? Half Lord of the Fishes, right? After the boat, we're going to do half Lord of the Fishes. So legs lengthen out front, kind of shake them out a little bit. Boat pose is tough. All right, let's take your right leg, bend it, and then cross it over. Option one is to stay just like this. Option two, you're going to take that left leg and tuck it underneath. Cow face pose helped us open up our hips. So perhaps you can get that leg tucked under. If not, leave it lengthened out. If it's tucked under, you want this right foot to have a big toe, a pinky, and a heel on the ground. If you can't do that, then it's better to lengthen this leg back up as you work toward that flexibility. Wherever you're at, big breath in and start turning as you exhale toward the leg. You're going to give it a hug. Your right arm comes behind like a kickstand. You look over your back shoulder. If you want to add on from here, you can hook your elbow on the outside of that knee and use that elbow. There's a little bit of a lever into a bigger twist. The spinal rotation is what we're working toward here. So if a higher option doesn't get you a better twist, it is not a good option for you. A final option, if you want to try it, otherwise hold where you're at, is to take that hand and grab the toes and extend them out. Also for next week for you?
Oh, that's next week.
All right, if you extended the leg, bring it back in, and then everyone, we're going to turn this into an open twist. So closed twist is toward your body. Now we're just going to open our twist to the other side. You can use that right hand on the heel to try to facilitate a greater twist. So right hand is on that ankle, left hand behind like a kickstand. Release. Shoot those legs out in front of you. Give them a little shake. We'll move to the other side. So left leg bends, cross it over. Either stay here or tuck that right foot underneath. Again, make sure your left foot has big toe, pinky, and heel on the ground. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hug that knee. This is half Lord of the Fishes. If you're like, what's full Lord of the Fishes? You can go Google image that up. I'm only going to make a fool out of myself once today with boat pose. Full Lord of the Fishes can be another week. All right, if you want that add-on, you can hook the elbow. Want that last add-on, again, you can grab the foot and lengthen. You extend the leg, release, and then everybody turn that into the open twist. So we just turn to the other side, left hand can kind of use that ankle for leverage. Right hand behind as a kickstand. Release. I'm going to sweep those legs to the side and come into a horse stance. So we're going to come to bow pose, but from this horse stance. So a little bit different. Most people are familiar with bow pose down on your tummy. So I'm just going to show you a different option for this. All right, so what I'd like you to do is kind of our last big thing before we come down flat. All right, you're going to lift your left hand, thumb to the ceiling, and then lift your right leg. So trying to make a straight line from fingertips to toes. If this is already a big challenge for you, you can stay here, even let your toe tap on the ground. If you're feeling good, I want you to move your arm and your leg out on a diagonal. If you're feeling good here, I want you to bend your knee, and then take that arm behind and try to grab the leg. So not only strengthening your back, but also working on balance. This is just a modification of bow. Eye gaze down toward the ground. Release back out to that diagonal. Forward and back. And release down. Sit back into child's pose just for a couple breaths, and we'll do the other side. All right, let's come on up. Hands underneath those shoulders, pushing into the ground, knees underneath hips. Right hand lifts, thumb to the ceiling. Opposite leg. Taking length. Someone's pulling your hand in one direction, your foot in the other. If you feel good here, pull it out to that diagonal. If you feel good here, bend that knee, draw the arm behind, try to grab the foot. If you fall over, don't worry, you're pretty close to the ground. Should be okay. And come back and try again. Release to the diagonal. Overhead and behind. Release down, child's pose. Widen those knees a little bit, maybe as wide as your mat. Let your head and belly sink here. From here, just roll over to your back. Lift your heels up to the sky. You can either grab behind your thighs, coming into happy baby, or if you're able to, grab your feet inside, outside. Some people like to grab their big toe. Just gently rock back and forth. You're not trying to lower that tail going back to the ground. You have a tendency to pick up. And we want to try to flatten it back as we slowly rock. Release your left foot down to the ground. Knee bent. And lengthen that right heel to the ceiling, grabbing behind the thigh, maybe behind the calf, maybe the ankle. Just gently drawing it in. Your left leg can stay bent, or you can press that heel away and lengthen it out. Now pull the leg just a tiny little bit across your body. Trying to hit your IT band here. You will not have to go far. Keep that hip down, it's not a twist. Just a little pull until you feel on the outside of that leg, a little bit of a pull. Common area of tightness, especially if you do a lot of cardio work. Bring it back. And let's switch to the other side. So right heel starts planted, left heel lifts. You can grab behind the thigh, or maybe walk the hands down a little bit. Shoulders and head stay grounded as you gently draw in. Supporting leg can be bent, or reach it out, pushing the heel away. Gently draw it across your body, just a little bit to feel the pull on the outside of your leg. Draw it back, release. And find a position that's comfortable for you for the next few minutes. have a time of relaxation and meditation. Corpse pose is the most common here, but if that hurts your back, plant those heels. Let your knees fall into each other like a tent. You feel your shoulders shrugging, gently pull them away from your ears, tucking those shoulder blades behind your rib cage. A real teeny tiny tuck of your chin to create length through the neck. Open up those hips, let your feet fall out to the sides. Soften through your face. You must move your forehead and your cheeks. And move your jaw around and just let it hang. Come back to those belly breaths, feeling your belly rise and fall. Start to wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes, gentle roll over wrist or ankle. Reach your hands overhead, think about reaching fingertips and toes in opposite directions. Nice full body stretch like you just woke up in the morning. And pull those knees into your chest, give them a little hug. And lengthen out an arm, roll over to that side into a fetal position. And take a couple of deep belly breaths here. Use those arms to push yourself up to a seated position. Always comfortable for you. We inhale, arms up overhead. The palms meet. We exhale down to heart center. May you be well in your soul. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Hope you can offer me a little grace on those sun salutations when I couldn't figure out left from right. I was like, which side did I do? How do I not remember?
I was a little confused. I just followed.
I was also confused. So
I followed you. Well done. Well done. Another great class. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better. Thank you for those who tune in. Thank you for those who want to catch it later. We appreciate you. We hope that everybody has a safe and blessed weekend, rest of the weekend. And we'll bring more to you next week. So, yeah, have a great week. You got any words for anybody?
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for being with us today. Really appreciate everyone. God bless. Stay